Do Coventry City deserve far more credit than what they're being given by the media? Welcome back to 20 minutes of Where Sky Blues Walk. We're looking back on that 0-0 at Leicester. Hope you're all doing well and had a safe journey back from your rivals. Plus, we're talking about should Brow be coming on now for D Silva, and it's time that Rushworth got some plaudits. Plus, which Coventry player deserves way more credit than what they've been given? Hope you're all looking forward, of course, to the Birmingham game as well, which we'll also talk about with Scott this week. The team have depleted and left you all on your own this week. But we are very grateful to have your company, Scott. How did you find the Leicester game?
I found it an interesting game, actually. I didn't really know what to expect. We had our chat last week, the extra 30 minutes, and I think the other three guys went for Coventry to sneak it 2-1, 3-1, something like that. I don't know if I was pessimistic or realistic, but I went for a 1-1 draw. So I'll take the draw as the result that turned out.
The win, yeah, okay.
Certainly would, and I'd have taken a point before kick-off. Right. I thought it was a decent game. I thought we went there. I thought we competed with them. I thought first half we started off very well. Got into the game, started knocking the ball around. What I've seen so far. First half I thought we probably were slightly the better side in the first 20-25 minutes. Leicester came back into it. What was music to my ears was every time they got the ball about 20-25 yards out, the crowd was shouting "shoot" quite often. So I was thinking we can't be doing that bad. But if you're going to lose to one that goes in the top corner, then so be it. But they came back into it second half. I thought we defended well, we competed well. More often than not, we were getting back as a team in numbers, which was nice to see, and getting back there. Second half was a bit more open. They had a cracking chance to win the game, an absolute cracking chance. I think he had a bit more time as well, Mavididi, to control the ball and score. Yeah. But it was a great ball in from the, I think it was Monga. I think it was the young lad, that squared it to him. And he hit it first time, which, looking back on it, he could have controlled it and maybe done better. But good save by Rushworth. Overall, I think we deserved a point. I looked at the stats. The stats probably don't tell me the story of the game, to be honest. It looked like, we didn't have many shots on target, if any, that kind of the low numbers. But I thought we gave them a decent game for 90 minutes, to be fair, Mark.
Yeah, and let's just shout out everybody who, of course, went as well. Great away travelling, as you'd expect, obviously, for a derby as well. But, in finding loud in voice as well, couldn't really hear the Leicester fans on the TV. We could only really hear Coventry fans. So credit. If you went, drop us a like and drop us a subscribe as well. If you see yourself on that picture as well, that'd be also let us know in the comments. Let's get the one negative out of the way with this week. I'll start with the negative and then we'll do lots of the positive. Here it is. Rick says, this was my concern when not replacing Sheaf. Torp puts in a performance like that once every 4 games. Today he was miles off it. Allen, Eccles and Bidwell coming on isn't it, by the way. If we finish top 10, I'll be content. I don't think other Coventry fans would be content with top 10 there, Rick. But does he have a point about Torp?
I think he had one of his average games, in my opinion. I've heard some people say he was poor. I thought he was okay. I guess he's probably about my opinion on Torp. He's done well this season. He did some good stuff. At times, I think he got caught on the ball a little bit too slow, got out-muscled at times. Didn't really have too many opportunities to shoot on goal. Didn't have much chance to play some threaded balls through to Hadji or anything like that. I thought it was an average game, to be fair to him. But he's been pretty good all season. He's scored some goals this season. So, if you're going to have a bad game away at Leicester and draw, then I'd take that every day of the week.
Absolutely.
To be honest.
Rob says, I'll take that. Some of the same problems as last week against Norwich, but we smashed these at home, no problems. Another strange ref, but overall a decent game. We're still unbeaten. Yeah, we move. And that's that unbeaten bit that I want to focus on now. As the title of the video says, are Coventry being given enough credit for the start to the season? Because there have been too many draws, haven't there? But of the football, and obviously I watch quite a lot of Championship football, and because I have to, because I talk to all 24 teams. But of the football you are playing, I think, some of the most attractive football there is out there. And defensively, you seem to have sorted out the issues that we had maybe at the start of the season when we had those 3-2s and strange wobbles in defence.
Yeah.
Are you getting enough credit?
I don't think we are, personally. I mean, we've won 2 and drawn 4. I mean, 0-0 against Hull, first game of the season. To be honest, it's a bit of a lottery, in my opinion, the first few games of the season. Whoever you play, no one's hit their stride. We could have snuck the game against Hull. They could have done the same, but wasn't too bad. Yes, you could say we dropped points at Oxford. You could say that, but again, we played very, very well in the first half and didn't play very well second half. We've drawn against Norwich, and we've spoken about that numerous times. I've left a little comment on their YouTube channel as well. Yes, which I thought I might have a little bit of banter with some people, but to fire that one up a bit. And we've drawn away at Leicester and kept a clean sheet. The unbeaten bit for me gives the team confidence. I think it certainly helps. We're on 10 points after 6 games, which is probably better than the last however many years. Like you said, I think we had an ish game against Hull. We had a dodgy half against Oxford. And that's probably about it, really, that you can really, point at to say it could have been better, in my opinion. We played, obviously, brilliantly against QPR. We've scored 5 against Derby. We've set a championship record for scoring 14 goals in 4 games. I think, we are doing very, very well. And I think teams are probably looking at us. And like you've said now, even I'm sitting there thinking we are playing some cracking football at times. And long may it continue this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah. And old pals Middlesbrough are the only team now that are also undefeated. So, you sit side by side with them, don't you? So many things.
Almost. Just 6 points different.
Right. Let's talk about D Silva then. I'm really interested in your thoughts on some of these issues. Andrew says, if only we had a tall Spanish left wing back on the bench. M says he needs to come on as D Silva is getting turned every single attack down that side. Right, let's talk about him then, your tall Spanish left wing back. Is it time we started to see him a bit more?
I personally wouldn't have said that. Next game I'd probably start him. I think up against Fatawu, however you say his surname, on against Leicester on Saturday. Yeah, he had a torrid time, to be fair to him. He did need some help. When we defended as a unit, I thought we were better. I thought Thomas Asante got back and helped him out. But when he was left one-on-one, it was a struggle, to be fair to him. He's obviously not the biggest person in the world. He's got some pace, but I think the player he was up against is very, very rapid. And when he's got the ball on the halfway line or, just inside your own half and there's 30 or 40 yards behind you, then he's going to do it. He could have had some help, I guess, from the centre half or Grimesy, but I'm not entirely sure how they'd have done it. But he did have a torrid time. I think if you're talking about Brow, I was surprised that he didn't come on instead of Bidwell. When Jake came on to replace D Silva, I was expecting Brow to come on, but obviously Frank had a different opinion. But my concern was mainly about pace, if he was going to come on and mark the same player, because I think he's probably even slower than D Silva. But again, he's another player. If you're talking about credit, then he had a tough game against Leicester. It's no surprise to me, but it's probably his toughest game he's had in 6 games this season. He's been great outside of that.
Yeah. Jack says, get Brow on. Andrew says, it does my head in every week. We get people defending D Silva because he made a good pass against, I think, Oxford side in a game that we didn't win. Is that harsh?
I think so. I mean, like I said last week, when we played, who did we play last week? Norwich. It was, he was on my side of the pitch first half, and I thought he was great. There was him, Redoni, Talk, and Mason Clark playing some cracking football down that left-hand side, one-touch football. Everybody's got their own opinion, but I think he's done very well. I thought he finished off last season very well on his own. Didn't have a great start to the season, and people were probably putting question marks against him, but I think he's done very, very well this season personally. And like I said, Norwich, no point talking about the QPR game, I suppose, because that was very one-sided. But last week again, I thought he was great for 60, 70 odd minutes of the game.
Right, let's look ahead then, shall we? Wayne says, a good point away from home. Let's turn it on next week and batter the Blues. Yeah, Birmingham are in town with the full Hollywood entourage, of course. What have you made of their story? Are you someone who can get behind it?
I think from where they've come from, maybe yes, but it probably is a bit too Hollywood for me, I guess. But you know, it's them, I guess. They've got their owners, they've got their money. I don't think anybody would complain if they had the same kind of people and the same kind of financial backing to a certain extent. They've bought plenty of players, they've bought some expensive players, and they're certainly getting a lot of late wins at the moment. So, you know, it'd be nice. I mean, I guess people are targeting them and Wrexham. If you've been given a fair amount of budget, then people automatically, I guess, want those teams to fail. And I guess because they're down the road, it'd be nice to slow them down. I guess on Saturday, it'd be nice to nick 3 points against them. And if we scored late, it'd probably be, probably be a great celebration because it's what they've done lately. I think they did it against Swansea on Saturday as well, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're still disgusted at the ticket prices you're charging them as well, as we've spoken about before. But, you know,
it's sold out though.
Yeah. What they do.
I did get it. I think on that point, sorry, Mark. I think on that point we spoke about it last week, but you know, personally, 45 quid is quite a lot of money. I think 35 quid for a kid was the bit that I'd probably challenge back more on if you've got a couple of kids that you want to take. But I think 35 quid was a bit too steep for a child or a kid, in my opinion.
I think this definitely will be a Premier League fixture going forward, won't it? Coventry and Birmingham in 5 years' time. Let's certainly should be anyway. Just a word on Leicester. This is a Leicester fan. Coventry didn't show anything today. If anything, we were more clinical. We'd have won that. Also, Cov fans were. So I mean, the rivalry seems to be intensifying more and more. This fixture's played.
Yeah, even though it's not a derby, is it a rivalry? Who cares about who? That's all you ever see on social media. But I think they probably had. I mean, I jotted some stats down for our chat tonight, which obviously we're not going to have. But I think they had three clear-cut chances. I can remember Mavridi's. I think there was one in the first half that Rushworth made a decent save from. So they had a couple of chances, to be fair, which is what you'd expect from a side that's been in the Premier League, I guess, last season. That they got some decent players. I guess Hadji, if he'd have been a bit more clinical, he had a good shot with his left foot, which scraped the post. Or no, he didn't scrape the post, just outside the post. And I'm still not sure whether the header he had in the second half was offside or not. I still don't know. It wasn't on the highlights last night. No. But that was a decent chance. So, yeah, I guess, that's the way football goes. If you don't put the ball in the back of the net, it's not the opposition's fault. And like we said at the start here, if you're talking about the fans, certainly all I could hear watching the TV at home was Coventry fans singing. I don't know where the microphone is or how it's located, but that's the only noise that I could hear for the bulk of the game, to be honest. But it might just be a bit of rage bait in there. You never know.
Yeah, I think so. A quick word on Rushworth. I mean he's had his critics, but great performance from him.
Again, I've I looked at him and I thought he was pretty solid. He had a few shots that bounced just before him, which he gathered very well, took them in. Like I say, tipped one round the post, made the good save from Mavrididi. I'm hoping it does his confidence an awful lot of good because he looked very, very solid to me. Probably the best he's played this season I could probably think about, outside of the QPR game where he had almost nothing to do. I think he did very well to gather the ball and make those saves at the weekend. And distribution was good. There's the odd time now and again, which is his only improvement for me, is sometimes when we've just repelled an attack, you'll see one player up there and he's got this decent throw on him, and now and again he lumps it up to somebody like he did at the weekend after about 80 odd minutes, and I was sitting there thinking, the ball's just going to come back to us, just slow the game down. It might just be that slight improvement area for him, in my own opinion, about just keeping hold of the ball for 15 seconds, or somebody tell him to keep hold of the ball and just slow it down, a bit of game management. But super. No, very, very good, made some great saves and looked solid, so hopefully that will continue.
Absolutely. Right, finally this week then, we're asking all our teams who's the one unsung player of the season so far that hasn't had many plaudits online or in fans forums. Let us know in the comments, of course. We'll shout some of these out. Scott, who's that for you?
I went through the whole team and I struggled, to be honest with you, but I got it down to either Hadji or BTA, because they still get to Brandon Thomas Asante, because they still got a bit of stick online. And one of the things I noticed a couple of times, again watching the game on Saturday, how they both got back to help out the fullbacks, I mean, Hadji came back halfway back inside his own half to track somebody down. And it's that sort of effort that people may not remember or may not spot. It's, BTA is a great presser. A lot of people talk about the end product, which you can't argue with. But again, he scored some goals. Hadji scored numerous goals this season and, missed a couple at the weekend. And it's those negative parts that I think those two guys you hear about most for those two. So either of those two, for me, with the effort they certainly put in on Saturday and bringing that to the game, I think that goes a bit unnoticed. So I'd say one or both of those two that, spotting that, defending from the front is good for me. And those two did it in bucket loads on Saturday. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you, Scott. Great on your solo effort this week. Thank you very much. We'll be watching the Birmingham game, of course, this weekend. Join us next week when we'll be looking back with the whole team on how you've done against them, and also welcoming back, of course, midweek championship fixtures,
yes,
which we also get next week. Hooray for Dark
Fantastic.
Nights.
Up the M5 we go.
Up the M5 we go, yeah. Right, see you next week. Have a
Cheers,
good one,
thank you very
everyone.
much.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers, Mark.